So in the kit, you will have, basically a 3-stage RODI cart is 3 filtration components. You have a carbon pre-filter, an RO membrane, and a DI post-filter. And so this is your carbon pre-filter here. This is a 2.5 by 10 inch carbon pre-filter. It will come with the carbon pre-filter. It will come with the mounting bracket for the carbon pre-filter. And it will come with the hardware to attach the mounting bracket to the carbon pre-filter. So essentially, you're just going to mount the carbon pre-filter underneath the bracket like this and use the 4 screws that would be included to attach those. On the back side of the carbon pre-filter, there's holes so you can mount this to whatever you decide to mount these components to. So that's your carbon pre-filter and bracket. It's going to come with a garden hose swivel inlet. So this is a 1/2 inch male pipe thread. There's an in and an out on these housings. They are labeled. So you just thread in this 1/2 inch garden hose inlet fitting into your carbon filter housing. It's going to come with the Teflon tape you need as well. So basically the only thing you won't have from us is tools and hardware to mount. On the outlet of your carbon filter, you're going to get 5 of these quick connect females. You'll thread this in. Your carbon filter is complete. There's your inlet, there's your outlet of your carbon filter. This is also going to come with the RHG chloramine killer. This carbon filter not only grabs your chlorine in the water, but also the chloramines. So it'll include that as well. So that's your carbon filter with bracket and housing. Also comes with the wrench to open this so when you need to service the filter. Next is going to be your RO membrane. And the RO membrane is basically where most of the cost of these systems comes in. You're going to get the stainless steel 40-inch housing. It'll come packaged just like this. There's some parts inside the housing in the packaging that you're going to need. So you've got a stainless steel tube here, and you've got 2 caps for each end. Inside there also is the O-rings that you need for these grooves. So you put the O-rings on there. We're going to send the lubricant along with it so you can lube the O-rings up and assemble. These are the kinds of things that don't come in a kit when you just go on a water filtration supply site. They don't include stuff like this for your housings. And then it has the components needed to secure the black caps on each end. Now the RO membrane housing assembly is fairly simple, but there is a key point that has to be made here. On each end there's 2 ports. You need to utilize 3 ports on the RO housing. And we will send a 1/2 inch brass threaded plug to plug one of the ports you don't need because they're not plugged out of the box. The one you want to plug is the one on center on one of the 2 caps. It doesn't matter which one you choose right away. So you're going to thread this into the center, tighten it up again with Teflon tape. Don't over tighten that. We do see these split sometimes if you just kind of over tighten that. So just tighten it to seal. Then on the other port on that hub for that end, you're going to put another one of these quick connect fittings. And then on the opposite end, you're going to use both ports, and you're going to go with both of these fittings yet again. And so when you assemble the housing, what's important to note is we usually use this one as the bottom of the housing on the carts, and this one is the top, okay? Now when you do that, this becomes your inlet to the RO from your carbon. So you're going to go from your carbon with some of this 1/2 inch black tubing that we're going to supply. We'll send you 10 feet of this, which will be plenty to do this, unless you're setting this up in a truck and running filtered back and forth, which, you know, at that point you can kind of pick this up somewhere else if you need it, or we'll send you extra, but 10 feet is plenty. you're going to go from your outlet on your carbon filter to the inlet on your RO. And that's going to be this port here on the end you plug. This is important because if you use a different port than this, you will ruin that RO membrane. And they're around $500, the ones that we sell, because of the technology that's involved with ours. So you want to make sure you get this right. And the first time I ever made a water system like this, 15, 16 years ago, if not more now, I plumbed it wrong. I called the water supply company that sent me the RO. I said, oh man, you wouldn't believe it. They said, we're sorry, buy another RO membrane. You should know better. So again, you're not going to get instructions like that when you just go out and you buy these vessels. So it's important to realize you can't just use any ports. So this is going to be your inlet, okay? The system will also come with elbows. So if you want to make a turn here, you'll have an elbow. Or if you want to make a turn, it'll come with 5 elbows. If you want to make a turn at the carbon filter and send the water that way, you don't have to come straight out, okay? So this is your inlet to the RO. On the opposite side, this is your outlet now. You have 2 outlets on an RO membrane. The center port is the good water. This is the water the RO membrane is making that is good. This is called permeate water. The off-center port is the bad water. This is the water that the RO membrane is making that is high in mineral content that you want to go on the ground. This is your concentrate water. The permeate port will go to the DI. Okay, so through the RO to the DI. If you wanted to create a setup where you go RO only, you would then want to put a valve in line so you could split off here and go RO only, but then onto the DI for RO-DI. So your center port goes to your DI filter, and your off-center port goes to your bypass valve. So this is your bypass valve. It'll come in the kit. You plumb this in line somewhere downstream from this off-center port. Everything just push connects, okay? And when you close this valve, there's a hole drilled out inside for you. It's the right orifice, and that creates back pressure in the vessel up against the membrane, okay? So that creates back pressure, and then the water is sent through the membrane, and the good water comes out here. So you've got your RO membrane plumbed, the housing anyway. How do you know which way to put it in the housing? This is important. On one end of the RO membrane, there is what we call a brine seal. This white gasket on the one end, otherwise it's the same all the way across, okay? You'll see our branding on here. This is going to be the end you want up at the top with this, okay? So you're going to assemble your bottom to your housing, drop this in, you'll lubricate the 2 permeate tube ends. It'll go in, there's O-ring grooves in these holes that these permeate tubes line up with, so you want to lubricate that so it slides in and seats correctly. Once this is down in there, you can put your top on, assemble with the hardware that's included, and then that's complete assembly of the RO housing and RO filter. Again, off of the permeate port on your RO membrane housing, you're going to go to the inlet of the DI. Now everything on these is 1/2 inch fittings except for the DI. The DI is 3/4. So you're going to get a bushing. The bushing will go into this port. It's labeled inlet. This is your outlet. You're going to get a 3/4 inch male garden hose thread with the kit. This will go on your outlet. Now you'll take one of the threaded quick connects, put it in that reducer bushing. So now you can connect the tubing that's coming off of the permeate tube on your RO membrane housing to the inlet to the DI. So this is your inlet to the DI, and this is your outlet. You're going to get the DI mounting bracket. So this mounts just like this. You're going to get the hardware needed to do so. So these will just screw right into that. And then on the back of the bracket, just like on the carbon, there's holes so you can mount this wherever you want it. Okay? This is your DI filter, and you've got a wrench. So you're going to open this up, install your DI filter. At the top of your DI filter, you're going to have this gasket. You want to make sure to use this as the top. So this sits down in the sump. paper in here when you first get it. You'll want to take that out. Sit this down in your sump. There's an O-ring groove up here with an O-ring in it that's lubricated. You'll reassemble your housing here. Use your wrench to tighten it for water tightness. And at that point, you're completely assembled, okay? Water goes in here, runs through your RO membrane. Water will come out your bypass line, and water will come out your good water line on the outlet of the DI. That's 3 stages of filtration, ultra pure water for cleaning. We've been asked whether or not this is suitable for CPAP machines and other stuff that people need water for. They're buying distilled and they're having a hard time getting it. The issue with that is this is not designed in any way to kill bacteria, so I don't recommend it, okay? Otherwise, the water is that quality, but you're not killing bacteria anywhere in here. The only other thing that I didn't mention is this pressure gauge and then 2 of these elbows here. This is a female to female elbow. In case you need to cut this and make a right-hand turn, you'll get 2 of these in the kit. The pressure gauge you're going to want to put on the hose line that's coming out of the carbon and into the RO. And what that's for is it'll tell you your pressure coming into the system should you ever have a problem where you're not getting a lot of water out of here. You can check your pressure, and if your pressure is extremely low, that's your culprit. If you have high pressure, it's your carbon filter, change your carbon filter. So that's why we put pressure gauges on every system we make. If you have questions, I'll see them in the feed, or you can contact me. I'll address the questions here in a little bit. But this is a complete 3-stage do-it-yourself kit. If you guys are looking for a project to do while you're in your downtime, so that way when you get back up and running and we're all going, 100 miles an hour again, you'll have everything ready to go and you'll save quite a bit of money having done it yourself in your downtime. So I want to thank you guys for your support. We are open and shipping as long as the trucks are running and we're not being told by the local government to stay home. So orders that get placed, we will send along as soon as possible. Thanks, guys.